Hello and welcome to the Fish Nerds, the show about fish, fishing, and eating fish. I'm Clay Groves, your host, Chief Executive Fish Nerd. Super excited to be here. I'm always excited to be here. And we are celebrating November, NaPodPoMo, National Podcast Posting Month, with a daily news story every single day, the whole month of November. Then in December, we're back on our normal... we haven't been normal in a long time, but back on our podcasting journey come December. Today, super excited, as always. Got another special guest. Our friend of the show, Tack Van Sickle, is here. He makes a podcast, which he's going to tell you all about. I had the pleasure of being a guest on his show this week. It's called A Very Brady Podcast, and it's a lot of fun, and it's surprisingly funny to spend time revisiting these old Brady Bunch episodes and talking about them, and it was really a good time for me. So here is our visit.
News, fish in the news. Everybody loves their fish in the news.
All right, hey, I'm super excited. As I said earlier, I got Tack Van Sickle. Rhymes with popsicle if you're trying to get it right when you're saying his name. He is the host of, what's your podcast? A Very Brady Podcast?
That's it. It's a Very Brady Podcast.
I know, and I had the pleasure of being a guest on it, and I absolutely think it's the worst idea for a podcast I've ever heard, and I actually really, really like it. Like, if you had pitched it to me, I would have been like, no, don't make that show. And then I would watch or listen to every episode. So, well
you
done.
did terrible on the show anyway, so
The worst,
you're not coming back.
The worst guest ever. But welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Fish Nerds. And you're here with a fishy news story for us for our NaPodPoMo month.
I do.
Let's hear it.
So, all right. So let me just start this off by saying I don't really know much about fishing or fish or anything, but I got a news story here. So I guess I'll read the... what's that called? The first line of a news story?
That's called a headline.
Headline?
Tack. Yeah, headline.
You know that line that's at the head? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the headline reads, prehistoric 7-foot alligator garfish caught on U.S. lake.
I love it.
Okay.
A garfish are
So,
such a cool fish.
What do I do? Just read the story?
Yeah,
Is that
read
all
the
I'm doing?
story and we'll riff on it. That's how it goes.
All right.
Yeah.
So an angler, I see the word angler throughout here. Does that just mean the fisherman?
That means
fisher guy?
the fisher. Yeah. Fishers like to call themselves anglers because it makes them feel like they can read or that they're special. So they use the word angler.
All right. An angler who prides himself on being a conservationist caught and killed a nearly 7-foot long prehistoric fish.
Right. Some conservationists, right? Hey, look, there's a new fish for me. I'm going to kill it.
And I think it's extinct. Let's kill it and find out.
The
alligator gar
I'm going to stop you for a
considered.
second. Have you heard of John James Audubon?
No.
Audubon, like the Audubon Nature Centers and all that stuff. So Audubon, he was famous for collecting new birds, and he was a conservationist. And every new species he found, he killed and mounted. So this garfish is the same as Audubon. He's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the alligator gar, considered a living fossil, was so heavy that it took 3 men to pull it out of the lake in Oklahoma onto their boat. Largely unchanged in 100 million years, the fish have retained their prehistoric features, including the scale like armor and an ability to breathe both air and water, which I found pretty fascinating.
Yeah, they can live in some murky water that's so hot, there's no oxygen in it, and their scales are so thick and sharp, Native Americans used to use them for arrowheads.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Yeah, they're cool.
Garfish are often called living fossils, according to National Geographic. This species of fish, called an alligator because of the shape of its broad snout and long, sharp teeth, can grow to 3 meters long and is one of the largest of all freshwater fish.
Yeah, they're gruesome looking. I mean, they look like alligators with no feet. They're just like footless alligators.
Yeah, I saw the picture in the news story.
Yeah.
And now another thing too, when I was like copying and pasting this so I can read it, This is from a UK article, so I had to change some things, to make it so it made sense for us Americans.
I gotta make it speak American.
Yeah, speak American, damn it. So they kept referring to fishes instead of fish. Is that normal?
Yeah, it's actually normal even in American English to call them fishes. There are some great books called like The Fishes of America or The Fishes of New Hampshire. And
that sounds right.
It goes back to the same reason that fishers call themselves anglers. It's just adding a syllable to a word to make it sound bigger and more smarter. Yeah.
Okay.
Me talk good.
So it's just it's pretension is all
it's all everything's pretension, man.
Okay. And here we go again. Angler Zachary Sutterfield's catch weighing, it said in kilograms, but I had to do the conversion. Yeah. So it's 170 pounds.
Wow.
Came close to being a record breaker. A 277-pound giant caught in 1951 in Texas is considered to be the world record holder.
That's amazing.
Texas Park and Wildlife says that the ancestors of alligator gar have been found in Permian deposits as fossils from 215 million years ago, making them not only one of the most ancient fishes, there it is, but also truly native Texans.
Right. So they have cowboy hats, spurs, and they don't like Mexicans.
Yeah. So right. That was kind of an unnecessary comment. And I guess they were cited they had to write 300 words, I guess. I don't know.
That's really funny.
Oklahoma game wardens posted on Facebook. Now they're going to write about a Facebook post. This weekend, angler Zachary Sutterfield of Durant, Oklahoma, harvested a 6'9". They're just repeating. I think he was tasked with 200 words.
Yeah. One of the funny things, Tack, about Fish in the News, and we do this all the time, I'll start reading an article, and I usually fizzle out about this point, and I stop reading because the article becomes they're just filling space with words.
And then even says, it's very, 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 very... No, I didn't say that.
You want to see an old
fish? Just write 200 words on that fish.
Right. What this really wants to say is, y'all want to see an old fish from Texas? We got one. That should be the whole article. Hey, look, a gar. That's all they want to say. Look at the big fish I caught. Can you write 300 words on a big fish you caught? Yeah, no problem. I can do that. Yeah. Should I use kilograms or pounds?
Kilograms, duh.
Yeah. So is there anything?
There's more here if you want to keep reading.
What did they do with this fish? Was there
that's a good question.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'll just keep reading. Zachary prides himself in being a conservationist, repeating. Mm-hmm. He allowed Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation biologist Richard Snow to come out and gather data from the gar for important research. Great fish, Zachary. It was actually quoted in here, somebody said.
Well, that's
users. Many users congratulated and admired the angler, but others said catching it was the opposite of conservation. One said, how can you be considered a conservationist while killing the most genetically adept or capable of any animal? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Isn't that just messing up the gene pool?
Yeah, so that's
the end of the article.
This is a great debate to have, too. Does catching and killing a fish work for conservation, right? On the one hand, you kill the fish, right? So that's bad for that individual fish. However, this article now is distributed worldwide, and we're all reading and talking about this fish that no one cared about before. Now we care, right?
Yeah.
So that's good for conservation. So, so that one fish is the martyr. It's it's like that. It died on behalf. It's Jesus of garfish. That's... It had its last supper on a hook, and now it sacrificed itself for the sins of future garfishes. And they will.
Yeah.
This is awful.
No, it totally makes sense. I'm putting it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was like a Jesus fish.
Yeah. Yeah. They're really cool fish. It's one of my dream fish to catch. I don't want to kill one, but man, I would love to just touch one, just see one in real life. They're such cool fish. And I don't know if there's any down in Virginia where you are, but in Florida they've got them, and all over the South, they're all over the place. So they're not that uncommon. And one of the best recipes I ever heard for garfish is called garballs. they grind up the meat to balls and fry them, but it's just fun to say the word garballs out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tack, tell us about your podcast. Let's hear about your
Okay.
podcast. Do your plug.
So my latest show that I just started, it's called A Very Brady Podcast, and it's just me, and then I invite a guest every week, a different guest, and we watch an episode of the show. We're going in, sequential order. I started the first episode going through, and we watch the episode before we record, and then we jump on, and we break it down beat by beat and what happens in the episode, and it's a good time. It's fun.
It's surprisingly fun. I had a great time on the show, and I hope it comes out good. So, but Tack, thanks for coming on the podcast. And where can they find your show? It's everywhere podcasts are.
Anywhere podcasts are, yep. If you can find Fish Nerds, you can find A Very Brady Podcast. So, and also we got a Facebook group too, A Very Brady Facebook group. Check that out. Join the conversation. Post stuff. Post whatever you want. I don't care. I run the page. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be racist or rude, but
Yeah, you could be rude, but don't be racist. So
yeah, don't be racist.
yeah, as long, just be funny. All right, thank you. Tack.
Just be funny. That's the most important thing. Be funny.
Be funny. All right, thanks so much.
News, fish in the news. Everybody loves their fish in the news.
All right, that was so fun. I love Garfish. So fun to talk about them. And we are looking to get some help on the show here. We need your voice on this show. We have, today's the 9th. We have like 21 more days of this 30 days podcasting challenge, and we need some content. So if you want to get your voice on this show, grab your cell phone, grab your computer, and maybe a USB mic, and push record. Record your Fish in the News story and send it to me. That's Clay at fishnerds.com, and I'll use it on the show. So get those in as soon as you can. We are getting a lot of submissions. We're excited about them, but we always have space for you. We can make room. We'll just make someone else move over and give you the space. But we'll move back tomorrow. So thanks so much for listening. Bye.